And let's talk about where the journey started. Where did we meet and how did we meet?
You want me to tell the story?
Of course I do. I love hearing.
Oh my God. That'll be interesting. Sorry about that. That'll be interesting to hear my version and then to hear your version, or the other way around.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God, all the nitty-gritty stuff, huh?
So we met in an online game, didn't we?
We met in an online game, yeah. And I think, oh, there he is. Hello. And yeah, we spent actually, not to let anybody misunderstand that, because you were always in Australia and I was always somewhere else in the world.
Yes, that's right.
So we never actually met before, ever. I mean, in the real world.
No, we haven't yet, have we?
Yeah, but in the virtual world, we actually spend a lot of time together in that game and outside the game. And while playing the game, we managed to have a bunch of friends around us, that some of them became real life friends again, even though we never met, most of us.
Yeah.
But we would be there for each other in good times and in bad times. And that was, for me, you know, the game was the platform, but the friendships that we created, for me, at a point, were lifesavers, where I was at some button points of my life, and knowing that the group is there, and that you're there, and that Philip is there, and you know, some of the people, it was really, really nice to know that I have my bunch of knights out there waiting to save me. That was really nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we had our own avatars, and you were actually we made you after a few stops on the way. We made you our leader. You were our leader.
Yeah, you want that.
Yeah, our fearless leader. And you guys made me your princess.
Yes, we had our royalty and chain of command, and but what I really loved about it, and you did touch on it, was the community of the whole thing, and like you said, the game was a platform, and the game was Grepolis, for those who are interested, they can look it up. But it was we spent more time in the chat rooms and sort of around the game than sort of in the game. And like you said, we got some really good friendships out of it, and there was a few really lonely people, and like you said, people that were sort of in dark places, and others that had terminal illnesses, and this was their escape, and this was their happy place, and I feel really good that we all had a part to play in helping these few people have the best life that they could when they were playing the game with us.
Definitely. We had some lost boys coming in the game, and we sort of tried to give them a good feeling about themselves and what they can or cannot do in life.
Yeah.
We were talking about the game, you know, that's the game of life, or the journey of life. We were talking about the game, but I will never forget this one boy. I don't remember his name. No, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then he could. Of course, everybody helped him, but he had the feeling that he could, and that actually made him then go to and do other things. Or you remember that old guy, we used to call him a point magnet. Remember that old guy?
Yeah,
we lost,
yeah.
We lost him, remember?
Yeah,
and everybody
he was
really,
well. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him. He was sick. His wife was sick. He was sick.
Yeah,
And yeah, we became a family, really a family. And it's amazing how you can create your family in this journey of life, in this game of life, to go with you and to be real family. I mean, you are my real family.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, and there's still a room in Skype where a bunch of us are still actively talking together. And
Mhm. Yeah.
just yesterday, I was chatting with a couple of people from.
Oh, well, you
Um,
have to tell me about this.
oh yes, we got some secrets here. Uh, and I might even interview some of those people over the next few weeks if they're interested, just to see how they're coping in the UK,
That would be
in the
wonderful.
US. You know, we might have to get a couple of extra little windows in our little Zoom here one night if we can organise
That
it.
would be wonderful.
That would be
That would
pretty
be
cool, wouldn't it?
perfectly wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we're having our journey of life, and we won't go on for too much longer in this sort of session. But what I would like to do, just to give people a bit of a hint about what we'll be discussing and talking about in the future, is we've made a list of words that mean stuff to us, and we're not going to
We're
go.
making it. We're still making it. It's not like
Oh,
it's ever going to end.
yeah, we are still making it, but what I thought I would do in this episode is just pick maybe one or two or three, and we'll just talk about what those words mean for us, and that'll sort of give us a bit of an idea of which direction we're going to go in this little journey that we're doing.
All
So
right.
I can read out some words from the list, or perhaps you might have a particular word yourself that means a lot to you that you'd like to explain or talk about.
Hmm. Oh, I would start with the breath actually.
With the breath, yes.
Breathing.
Breathing, the breath, yes.
Breath.
Explain what that means to you, Tal.
Oh. First of all, it's everything, you know. Everything starts with a breath, you know. Um,
Okay.
one of my therapeutical tools is a breath therapy, or integrative breath therapy, it's called. But the thing about the breath is that it's always with you.
Yeah.
It's not up to you, okay? It's an automatic process and it's organic. And you know, okay, we talk about why another one reason why I chose to start with this, other than it's the beginning of everything and the end of everything, of the journey of the game. If you don't
Well,
breathe,
that's
there's
right. Yes.
you can play. But the other thing is that it's one of the most powerful tools for you to stay healthy and to heal yourself if you're not healthy. And if you get some facts about breath therapy, you will find that 90% of of stuff that you need to live, had you been breathing correctly, you could have gotten from just breathing, not food, not water, not movement,
Uh,
breathing. And also 70% of garbage in your body, the breath will clear.
oh, wow.
So,
Never
yeah,
thought of
that's
it that
true.
way. Yeah.
You never thought about it, but that's true. But think, if you go to somebody who will talk about your health, they will tell you you got to eat good, you have to exercise good, you have to do this or do that. Nobody will tell you, well, let's look at how you breathe. And nobody actually gives you the power of your own breath. And it's very, very, very powerful. And just think, every time something goes wrong,
Take a deep breath.
do that automatically. It's yours. You
Yes.
just have to learn little tricks about your breath, and you're gonna make your life much, much, much better. So I'm going to give you a list of things you must do today.
Okay.
You ready? You
Yes,
have your
I'm
pen.
ready.
You have your pen?
How about I record it and I write it down later?
Oh, first of all, you remember, and then you have me on tape. So
That's right.
so number one, you have to inhale. And number two, exhale. Number three, inhale. Number four, exhale.
Not too complicated.
Number five, can you guess what number five is?
Inhale again.
Inhale again. And so it goes the whole day. And so many times a day we stop breathing.
Yeah.
We just
So
stop breathing.
is there different styles of breathing for different situations?
Yes.
Or is that something that we can tell ourselves to do, or is it something that we find that our body's doing it? Like if we're running, we're puffing at the end. Is there a better way to breathe after running, or something we can do before we run?
When you run, your body will get to a point where it'll breathe itself because you do it and it needs it, so it does that. But I'm talking about for when you get angry.
Yeah.
You can't be angry and breathe. Okay? If you just imagine you're being angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry. What happens is that you get, try it. I'm angry. Just say it. What happens is that you get contracted.
I can't breathe while I'm saying that. I'm angry.
And then there's no game of life. There's no journey. Yeah. So once you take a breath, even if you're really angry at somebody, you take a breath. It comes down, and then you can deal with things.
Yeah.
So the breath is a great teacher. It'll teach you anything you need to know about yourself. My teacher, of course, I learned it from someone. My teacher, her name is Carol Lampman in Tucson, Arizona. And she says, when you don't know what to do about something, take a deep breath. If you still don't know what to do about it, take another deep breath. And then if you still don't know what to do about it, guess what? Take a deep breath. And it'll eventually help you through whatever.
Oh, wow. We could do a whole episode on breath and breathing. That's really good.
We could, actually. As long as you breathe, there's hope. As long as you breathe, you can do okay. You know?
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
And it's that simple.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've probably got time to pick one word. Let me see.
You choose one.
Yeah, and I'll probably choose one that I was going to choose that one, but I'll talk about the one that you highlighted, the little monsters.
Yeah, little monsters.
What do you think I mean when I say little monsters?
Well, nothing is simple, and I know your mischievous side, so I'm like, what could that be? But when I hear little monsters, I think about the little things that we when we let things in us, like, how did I screw that up? What did I do? The little monsters inside me. Okay. I decided I'm going to work out every day. Who wants to work out every day unless you're a workout freak, like David. But who wants to work out every day, but I want to do it. I understand it's important for me, and always I find a reason why not to. So those little monsters, those little voices that tell you
you got it. That's what it's all about. Everybody has their little monsters, and everybody has their little angels. And you can say it's the voices inside our heads. You can say it is our self-talk, but basically what it is it's the doubts, and it's the uncertainty and the fears and all the dark things that hold us back from achieving what we want to achieve, and stop us from believing the things that we can do. And then you've got the angels, and the angels are the voice of hope and the voice of belief and empowerment that you can do things. And the skill, or when you're playing the game of life, is you need to have an opposite to each little monster. You have to find the angel that can opposite, and then you can keep a balance. And then the little monsters are living things, and they live on our uncertain thoughts and stuff. So we do feed them. So if we feed them too much, they become big monsters. And when they become big monsters, they can really affect our life. They can make us unhealthy. We become anxious, we become uncertain, we become negative, we get depressed, and we actually get real illnesses because we've fed our monsters too much. And when they get too big, we can't hear the angels. It's too hard to hear them. So we need to have some fresh air, some breathing, to find the space where we can hear the angels and the positive affirmations that, yes, we can do this. Yes, I can lose weight, or I can get fit again. And I can bend my knees as far as I can do a push-up, and I can respect myself. I can say no to my boss. I don't want to do this. Or I can stand up to the bully by saying, I understand. I'm sorry that you feel that you have to do this to me, but I'm okay with that. Like you might say, you're an ugly sod. You should be able to say, okay, no worries. That's just your opinion. You know, don't hear the hate, because when you hear the hate, you're feeding the little monsters. And the angels are saying, yeah, you think that about me. That's okay. You know, you can say and you can feel what you like. But the way I see it is, I'm happy with who I am, and I can do whatever I want on my terms, because that's how I'm going to play the game of life.
You're not going to decide for me.
That's right. Only you can decide how upset you're going to be about something. Only you can decide how you're going to react when somebody tips water over you, when you're walking on the footpath or something like that. There's two ways you could approach that. Well, there's a lot of ways you could actually, but you can either listen to the monsters and respond, or listen to the angels and respond. And quite often when you're dealing with other people who their monsters have got too big for them and they're actually giving off a negative vibe, if your angels are loud enough within yourself, your own self-talk is strong enough and positive enough, you can actually affect that poor sad person in a positive way, and they can go away feeling a little bit better. And one of my mottos in life is every time somebody has an interaction with me, they go away feeling better for it because they had a good experience with me. So I'm the David Cook experience. I'm a good experience, and I want as many people as possible to have that good experience.
Feel better, sure.
Yeah.
Your world becomes better. What I think about them is a few things. First of all, those little monsters, I think you said the word fear, that I know it's on our list there because I put it up there.
And you weren't afraid to put it there, were you?
I did. I think those little monsters at one point served a point, okay? Whether they were like protective apparatus we put in, like, no, don't do this because this is going to be dangerous, or somebody's going to shout at you for it. And then we taught ourselves to listen to that voice. But the problem is that actually our program, you're a computer person, so actually the program of this computer has been installed when we were about 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you wouldn't let your computer go on without debugging for so many years as we let ourselves go on without debugging, which is the game of life. Is what we do is, okay, we look at all those little bugs, okay, but some of them were installed there at one point for us to feel safe.
Yeah.
It wants us to feel safe. But now, hey, I'm not three years old anymore. Maybe I can have a different program. So this is sort of what we want to do. And this is one thing I think about those voices, about those little monsters. And the other thing is, as you said, they're living things. They don't want to die. Okay?
No.
So if I tell this fear, look, all right, you served me well, but I don't need you anymore. Die. It doesn't want to die. It's going to give me its best fight so it can keep on living.
Yeah.
And to live, it needs to be felt, and it needs to make havoc in my life, because otherwise it will not live anymore, will not exist. So these are, I think, more of the things we're going to talk about.
Absolutely, because those little monsters, they're always there, and the angels are always there too. And just like you explained briefly, they are checks. They are checks to keep the balance. So every now and then, when you take your deep breath, that's the opportunity for you to choose who you're going to feed. You're going to feed the angel, or you're going to feed the monster. And you got to know in here which one's going to have the better outcome for you. And
it's like in our game, you know, you have your enemies and you have your allies.
Yeah, and also some of our biggest enemies became our best friends.
Oh, yeah, I have one in mind.
Yes, I wonder what he's up to.
You know who I meant.
Yes, I do. Yeah, so, you know, and it's you know, it's a wonderful thing, because they're the little wins that we've had along the way, and because we can see the results of the way that we think, and we've been around long enough that we can start sharing this. It is our interpretation of the elements of life itself, but I think it's going to be very useful for people. So, well, put it this way, I'm quite excited to be able to talk about this more in the future as the weeks go by, because we've got a lot more words to go through, and I really think we can tell a story here. And look, I'm just pretty happy that we've had this chat tonight, and we'll have to do this a little bit more. And
great, I love that.
Yeah, and next time you'll be asking me a few questions, and I'll have to do a little bit more talking.
Okay.
It's been wonderful tonight, Tal. So thank you very much for
David,
joining me, and we're going to do this again very soon. In fact, next week.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. It's been really lovely.